Believe it or not, there's actually been a lot of updates for Pikmin since the release of Pikmin 4. None of them in-game yet, unfortunately, but there's been a lot of stuff on the website and just for Pikmin in general. The first large thing of note is the new Christmas trailer released for Pikmin. And the reason this is worth mentioning is because this is the first part of Nintendo's holiday push for Pikmin 4, along with a holiday magazine for Nintendo where they chose Pikmin as the cover, meaning it's very likely that Pikmin 4 DLC could be announced, or just other major Pikmin news. Speaking of the magazine, it's got a few things in it apart from Pikmin, but there are also some awesome Pikmin wallpapers that you can download and use on your phone. Additionally, there have been some images of Super Mario Wonder being sold in a bundle with Pikmin 4. Currently, it's only releasing in Japan, so yeah, we kinda got left out over here in the East, protesting about that. But seriously, this means that Nintendo might make other additions and releases for Pikmin 4, like a Pikmin 4 port to the Switch 2, or just other DLC content, which will lead to more people buying the game and subbing to my channel. On to a little bit more content with regards to Pikmin 4, the biggest stuff that people have been talking about is the potential update for a properly supported multiplayer. But this is all speculation, and it comes from the dog lore section on the Pikmin Garden website. For the most part, this section just explains that dogs in Pikmin are like dogs in real life. Additionally, it ends with an interesting sentence: two species of dogs living in far-flung star systems are so similar, and the existence of space dogs that may have once lived on this planet. When these mysteries are solved, we may or may not be able to discover the secrets of space dogs, but also the connection between us humans and this planet. This line essentially confirms that a lot of theories, like mine, that have everything in the Pikmin universe originally coming from PNF 404, and that all the Hawkatates, Copites, and others are just tiny humans. Of course, this is translated using Google's auto feature, so there might be some things that were a bit different in the actual Japanese version. There's also a lot of other lore updates, for example onions. The Pikmin onion, that is. There is actually a possibility that all the different onion designs from across the games may appear in a future entry. This is because each onion isn't actually a redesign, it's an entirely new onion subspecies. On the Pikmin Garden website, it mentions that onions have differences depending on the place and environment in which they grow, which points to another amazing possibility that in future Pikmin entries, you could span traveling across larger areas, like going all over the planet in order to have all these different onion types. Continuing with lore additions, the ship from Pikmin 2 is back and better than ever, and he has a few new treasure appraisals that differ from Schnauz's. For example, for this rubber ducky, Schnauz essentially says that the duck is very handsome, and it is the essence of handsomeness, whereas the ship says, "The ugliness that overthrows any kind of beauty strikes a chord of emotion and despair into the hearts of its viewers. An ugly item that is irresistible to enthusiasts." It also has some others where Schnauz essentially says believing in dreams and wonders because he thinks the clock is a time-traveling machine, whereas the ship says that everything is destined to break someday, but this clock keeps running forever, breaking the concept of time. It's quite funny, and you can read those on the Garden website if you'd like to. On top of the lore additions though, there have been a lot of cool additions to the website, like a day and night cycle, meaning that depending on what time of day you check the website, its background will be different, which is pretty cool. It also has a sunset version. It might also have a sunrise version, but I've never been able to actually check at that time due to work and other things. I will also point out that there have been more enemies appearing on the nighttime version as of recently compared to when I previously recorded it. Another cool addition to the website is the fake 3D model viewer. In here you can click on some enemies and Pikmin and rotate them around. The rotations are very limited because it's actually just a bunch of PNGs that are thrown onto the website and it cycles through them. If you can't tell already, the Pikmin Garden website constantly keeps getting updates. There are minor weekly and daily updates. The comics are one of these. The uploading schedule for the comics seems a little bit random, but if you check every couple days, there's some pretty funny stuff to see. On top of the comics, if you enjoy guessing games, there is a Guess What Weekly done, which has some cute little Pikmin animations that are shown in the video. The final consistent update are a bunch of wallpapers. Well, only one is technically released per month, with a few variants, but you can always go back and download the ones from previous months if you want to Pikminify your device. There's a lot of miscellaneous stuff too. If you want to make origami Pikmin, you can do that. If you want to get an address in Japan to get some cool Pikmin stuff, you can do that. No, but seriously, there's actually a lot of cool things that I wish were sold in North America. It's got stuff like some cool wind-up figures, plushes, a thing that eats your child, which may or may not be helpful for some people. There is a Danduri magazine update to help those with Danduri issues, a Pikmin Bloom tour amongst other stuff, and just a bunch of Pikmin stuff in general that has constantly been updated since the release. So, since Nintendo hasn't just dropped Pikmin off the face of the planet and continues to actually give updates, it's very, very likely that we are to see some major news drop from Nintendo either at the Game Awards or during the holidays, which I am super excited to see what happens. That's everything from Pikmin at the moment. I'll cover any major updates as they arise, or just do another condensed video a few months from now, like this one, covering everything at once. Until then, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.